All right, so today we have Bennett Heyn. He is a rising sophomore at Ohio State, and he is involved in Business Builders Club, Artificial Intelligence Club, and 500 Firms. And he's going to tell us a really interesting story about how he was able to get an internship this summer at a company called Helium SEO. So how's it going tonight, Bennett?
It's good. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
anytime.
glad to be here.
It's good talking to you. So, for those who don't know, can you first kind of briefly describe what SEO is and how it's utilized in companies?
Yeah, sure. SEO is become a popular thing for people now. It's the process of optimizing your website and web pages to get free organic traffic from search engines like Google. And so a lot of companies use this process of optimizing their website to rank for high keywords that people are searching for. So let's say that I'm searching to buy a red hoodie. Then if I search up red hoodie and a company has brought their result to the top, I'm more likely to buy from them just because it's right there. And so what they do is they help companies just bring their pages to the top.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Increase web traffic, increase product sales. So what intrigued you, and why did you choose to pursue an internship with Helium SEO and search engine optimization kind of arena?
Yeah. Good question. So I first did a little bit of research online of cool companies in the Cincinnati area, and I found Helium SEO. And so one thing I really liked was that they're mainly focused on digital marketing, but they're also interested in AI and other things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And then I saw that I might be a good fit there just because of my past experience. Mm-hmm. In high school, I took a course through Google, and it was called the Google Garage, and it offered a free certification in digital marketing, and I'd recommend doing that.
Awesome.
But so mainly I just enjoyed digital marketing, and it was cool that they use AI and are business facing, because I know that I'm interested in business and technology.
Yeah, kind of the bridge in between those two. So I know you have an interesting story about how you actually got to this point. So you walked in. What led you to walk in there and request an interview with Helium SEO?
Yeah. So kind of as I said before, one day I was on my computer, I think back over spring break.
Okay.
And then I was looking for to try to get an internship for the summer. And so I was Googling cool AI companies in Cincinnati, and I found them, and I found one other company. So I decided that instead of applying most people do online, I thought I would just go in person and see if I can talk to someone and kind of find out more about what they do. So I went to their location. Or actually, before I did that, I sent them a couple messages on their website to try to get a response.
Yeah.
But they didn't respond.
Wow.
So I drove over. They're 10 minutes away. Drove to their office, probably Tuesday afternoon. And then I walked in the door, and it was just a kind of a cubicle office space type of thing. And I walked in, and people were just busy doing different tasks. And so I knocked on someone's door, and then she was like, "Hi, can I help you?" And then I was like, "My name is Bennett. How are you?" I was looking you guys up on Google, and I found your company, and I wanted to stop by and see what you do. And so she was like, "Oh yeah, thank you for stopping by. Unfortunately, we're really busy today. What are you here for?" And so I told her that I'm a student at Ohio State, and I'm looking to gain more experience in this field of digital marketing.
Yeah. And
also I'm looking for an internship. And so we kind of talked a little bit more, and she told me she also had a son. I think he goes to UC.
Really?
And so she told just to maybe schedule an appointment to come and talk to someone if I was going to do that, because you're not supposed to just walk in.
Yeah.
And then so I left, and then later I followed up with her through email and told her yeah, thanks for letting me stop by. Let me know when I should talk to someone, and we can schedule an appointment. And then kind of a back and forth, and then eventually she invited me to apply or to interview for their internship position, and so I said yeah. And so earlier, I think a couple weeks ago, I went in for a group interview, and then just talked about my digital marketing background and why I'd be a good fit. And then a couple days later, I found out that I got the internship there.
Congrats. Yeah, that's a great story. So it sounds like they actually had a pretty positive reaction for just you kind of walking in there. So once you got your foot in the door, then the intimidation of interviews kind of arises. So what kind of research did you do, and how were you able to like utilize it throughout the interview process for people who are going through all OSU students who have to go through all these interviews with companies?
So like, I just want to rephrase it. Like, how would you recommend doing research to find the companies to go look into?
Yeah, like what kind of research do you recommend? Like, how did it help you like best answer their questions and impress them?
Yeah, definitely. Like, one big key factor that a lot of people probably don't do is like take the time to look into the company and see what they do, and like learn about what a position there might be.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people send their resumes to like a ton of companies online, and sometimes the companies call back and they're like, hey, like, we're interested, like, how much do you know about us? Like, what do we do? And then the person's like, ooh, shoot, I should have read more.
Yeah.
So, like, don't let that be you. For me, when I was, like, Googling them, I clicked on their website and, like, read about what they do. I found out things like that they're a startup, and so that kind of, like, changes the culture a little bit.
Yeah.
I found out, like, kind of how they use digital marketing and SEO to help their companies. And so I could do like a little bit more research on that stuff, just so I could be more prepared for interview questions. Like, what do you know about SEO and stuff?
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely like Google them at least and try to read their website.
Yeah. So if you can say, like, what kind of questions did they ask you? Like, were they really hard questions, or were they just background based, or?
Yeah. One thing that like I kind of like that they asked me was some stuff about SEO, but then like some stuff about like why would you be a good fit here?
Okay.
Like, what is your background in digital marketing? And then it kind of threw me off. I was in a group interview and they kept asking me the first couple questions. So like just having the ability to think off the top of your head is good.
Okay.
And then so probably mostly like questions about SEO, questions about like what do I do? Like a really common question is tell me about yourself.
Okay.
So you should like learn how to like tell people about yourself in a concise but effective manner. Some other things like one important question that they ask is, do you have any questions for me?
Oh yeah.
A lot of people think, oh, like, okay, I'm gonna ask him one or two questions. But like at Ohio State, I learned that you're actually supposed to ask them 5 to 6 questions. That might seem like a lot of questions, but it just like really shows that you're really interested. And although it seems like it's overkill, but when you're in there and like you ask them, can you tell me a little bit more about the company culture? Or you ask them things like, what do you do? Or like, what would a position look like for me at this company?
Yeah.
What's the day-to-day look like? So just asking like 5 to 6 questions like that is good, and give them time to respond.
Yeah, definitely have extras ready in case they answer them, because then you. Yeah, so you recently started. So what kind of are your responsibilities, and what do you anticipate doing throughout the rest of the summer as well?
Yeah, it's been really awesome so far. I really like it. One thing that I'm doing is like I'm a tech intern at Helium SEO. So my title is officially like search engine optimizer and engineer.
That's awesome.
So what I do is that like I'm mostly in the training stage right now. So I'm learning a lot about how to perform like different SEO and like how to do things like keyword research, which is like when you look into a company, you find out what keywords would they want to rank for. I'm learning about like project management, kind of. There's a tool called Asana, and so they want us to be proficient in that. They give us a lot of tools that they need us to be proficient in.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if you've heard of this, but Ahrefs, Google Analytics, Google Keyword Planner, other things. And then it's really fun. So I mostly do training throughout the day. But then eventually people will like come up to me and be like, hey, can you do this like bit of keyword research for me? Or like, hey, today I was actually doing website development
Okay.
and like trying to rank for a keyword in Tumblr and stuff. So it's just
Yeah.
interesting like work. That's fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then actually, it's kind of interesting as a side project. I wanted to apply what I learned. Like,
Yeah.
so I have a website. We sell like a product called Parker markers.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see if I could rank on Google for like an easy keyword. So I made a page called Coolest Guy in Cincinnati. and I optimized the website well, so I put Coolest Guy in Cincinnati in the title, the URL, and the heading. And then throughout the page, I would like say I'm the coolest guy in Cincinnati, and I made a list of like places I've been to, places I work, family, things like that. And then I sent it to like the Google web crawler, and half a day later, I was the number one ranking like website for coolest guy in Cincinnati.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. But then my mom made me take it down.
I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing so much. That was an awesome story, and good luck with your internship the rest of the summer.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. I guess if I could add anything, I would say like one important thing for me that I think is important for a lot of people is the like power of persistence, and then also like being organized. One like little story that kind of people don't see like when they see people like me getting internships is the other persistent things that we have to do. So like a little story I can add is when I was in the stage of walking into companies over spring break, I found one company in downtown Cincinnati, and I was like, I think I'd be a good fit there. They use AI and like data and coding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I went in and like at first the door was locked, so I had to ask someone to buzz me in. And then so I got buzzed in and the elevator was broken. So I took the stairs up to like the 4th floor. And then as I opened the door, like I look into the room and it's a startup. So I just see like 5 guys just at their desk coding on computers. And they all look at me. And then one guy stands up and he's like, "Hi, can I help you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Bennett. I'm a student at Ohio State. Like I'm interested in what your company does." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Like I'm the CEO.
Oh wow.
What's up?" So like I talked to him, and like we both have the same major of information systems. Really? That's what your major is also.
Yeah, that is me.
So we talked a little bit about that, and like we went in the other room and I asked him a couple questions I still had about what their company does. And probably about halfway through, he was like, "Hey, I'm really busy today, but like, would you just want to come back another time?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like, I'm also looking for an internship, something like that." So he was like, "Oh yeah, perfect. Like, we can just throw in an interview too on Friday."
That's
and
sick.
So like a couple of days later, I went back for an interview, and like I think I was qualified to work there.
Yeah.
And it was like a good back and forth. And then later he was like, "All right, like sounds good. Like, can you send me a list of things that you do as an intern?" And so I did that and like went home and wrote an email, and I followed up and thanked him. And then like he said like, "Perfect, like we'll look into it and I'll meet with the person who you would like be interning for."
Yeah.
And like probably about like a week later, it was still silent. So I like followed up and I was like, "Hey, can I still work here like as an intern?" I didn't say it like that, but I kind of like explained like, "Hey, is that position still open, or like do you guys need any help?" And then like a little bit like later, he sent another email and said like, "No, we don't need your help for this summer. Like, we're really sorry." But like one thing that he told me is that he admired that like I had like the guts to go in and talk to him, and that like this summer, unfortunately, they don't have anything like business or technology related for me to do. Yeah. But he said I could reapply for next year, and like
so
it's good
potentially next summer.
Mm-hmm. And then he also said that if things don't work out, like as an intern, he might potentially invest in my first company.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I mean, it's good connections.
Yeah,
I guess.
Good connections. Never be scared to.
But I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And being consistent, because like that was the first time I walked into like an office and doing that stuff, and they told me no. And then so if I would have just been like,
Yeah,
oh,
don't quit.
I guess I should do more, then I probably wouldn't have an internship for this summer.
That's awesome. Yeah, so just keep pushing on, keep trying to meet people, and professionals will more often than not be pretty receptive, I guess. It's a good
Uh
takeaway.
huh.
It's a great story. All right.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Great stuff. Have a good
All
summer.
right. Thanks. You too.